Time for an update, guys. All right. So there's a lot to get to. First things first, we're shipping. Anything you want to tell me about, something you're waiting on, an order that needs to be corrected, feel free to resend a message. I will be looking at messages. I know I finally have the time. Anyways, moving on. There's a lot of items that we're restocking. Let's move. The first things that we're going to be restocking, over there are the soft pads. Soft pads are out of stock. We're restocking them right away. At the same time, another top priority are these crankshafts. See, we got all these boxes of crankshafts. And these blanks. They will be combined and pressed together and made into complete crankshafts. So they're next in line. We're setting that up in the house right now and the Akuma. Next after that is mounts. So yeah, we're gonna have a little bit heavier duty motor mounts. We have some in stock, but we'll be making some nicer ones. What else is after that is clutch plates. Latest design of clutch plates. These ones are gonna be really cool. Came up with a good design of that. Clutch covers at the same time on the Haas and on the other Akuma bushings. We're specifically out of these guys. And this will make it so if your motor is meant for a 12 millimeter pin, you can then go run a 10 millimeter. See, it has a nice thick wall. So those are being restocked. And then Am6 cases. So yeah, we're bringing back the Am6 cases. It's going to be very similar to this design, but this one's going to be specifically designed for a stage 6 top end. You can either get a sport or a race type, so you can get an oval exhaust or you can get the split exhaust, and it's going to be designed to run 47 millimeter stroke. To achieve that, I'm going to make a custom billet Am6 head. That's going to be a new product. So that actually brings us into new products. So we have some new products. The first one I just mentioned, the Am6 head. It's going to allow, just like our Piaggio heads do, more stroke than the intended cylinder kit is made for, and it's going to lower the timing because we're going to put all that extra stroke above the ports. And that's what we want, lower timing. And I already sent one out. It's a proven motor. So yeah, I'm calling them the Am6 Max. So we have Am6 Max cases, Am6 Max heads, both on pre-sale. Next, new product. Short throw crank arms. I have them up on the website. I'm making them in 75 millimeter, 100 millimeter, and 125 millimeter. It's going to be a short rod, and it's going to allow you to run the clutches, the pull starts, all that stuff. The width is fully customizable, and they're going to be ready really soon. That's a short-term pre-sale. I already have the material. I have the design. Let me see if I can show you a little bit of the design. So here's the design here. And the way this works is it uses something called a split taper bushing. And if you can see, there's a slight taper on the walls. And these bolts draw this into the crank arm. And it tightens everything up, and there's a keyway, so it doesn't slip. And it allows you to lock the crankshaft arm on, the pedal crank arm on really tight to the shaft anywhere. And then you'd of course have an identical unit on the other side. Now the shaft and this bushing are off-the-shelf units, and this is a 22 millimeter shaft, which is a very common bicycle bottom bracket size. So what you would need to do is you would take this 4-bolt pattern and you'd put studs and use nuts here, and you would bolt the sprocket to this flange here. So that's how you'd mount sprockets. A lot of BMX sprockets do come with this nice size bore, so it would be centered for you. You would just need to use the bolts to make sure it spins with the crank. So what I'm going to be selling here is just these arms, and everything else can be had separately. I have the part numbers listed. Everywhere sells this kind of stuff. One more new product is to go with the hubs is this rear brake mount / pedal chain tensioner. See the pedal sprocket would go there. The way it works is this goes underneath the chainstay that goes to the rear dropout. You actually use a metal hose clamp to attach this little piece of hardware, and it keeps everything all secure. You see, you'd use that bolt. So this is on pre-sale too. The cranks would be made first, then this. So yeah, that's all the new products. And then we have other recently put into stock items that were just coming off pre-sale. The hubs. Let me explain these hubs. See, there's more crank weights. So we have these hubs in stock. Let's see if I can give you a little demonstration. I have an assembled hub somewhere, but anyways, everything's sold separately. We have a rear body, we have a front body. You see, they're basically the same thing. The rear is just a little wider. We have a rear axle, which is, that's how the rear axle should be, a little bit offset. And we have a front axle. Front axles are symmetrical. And that's so you can run the dual disc brakes and have everything nice and even. Now, with any of these hubs, you can put on these end caps. You can put the same one on both sides, or you can put one on just one side. Now this one here can bolt into one of these sprockets, and it can bolt to mountain bike disc brakes, or those Russian style sprockets. This can be used on the front or the rear. It's good for holding the sprocket on the rear, or it's good for holding brakes. And we also have this guy. This guy is for 1 3/8 pedal free wheels, and it also holds the Ruckus / Dio disc brakes. And again, all of them bolt to this hub the same way. We have that same thing again, minus the pedal free wheel, so that could be used on the front. We have this guy, which uses the BMX, the smaller BMX free wheel. See, it's a smaller thread, and that allows you to also use the mountain bike disc brake on the free wheel side. So that's the hubs. What you do is you buy everything separately. Take 6905 bearings, which is the biggest bearings anybody uses, period. Huge bearings. Like, they're going to be indestructible. You see all these little grooves. They interlock with the grooves inside here. All these pieces have them. And that makes it so it's like a maze for the dirt to get into the bearings. So if you're using these for like racing applications, you could use open style bearings and save a little bit of friction. So that's the hubs. Everything's for sale. Everything's in stock. Crown adapters, they're back in stock. The Piaggio cases, back in stock. A few of the sprockets. These heads are in stock. Everything, plenty of these guys. Those cams, tons of those in stock. We're making more of these tall versions of those sprocket covers. A lot of things in stock, and everything has been put on sale. Everything. Anything that I mentioned on this list that was being restocked or new products is on extra discount. There's nothing on the store that I didn't lower the price on. And this is to help us raise money to get an employee, So, yeah, it's a lot to go over. I need to get to work. I need to ship things. So, get at me as far as shipping orders. It's really my first day. I'm still had to redo all the website and all, and a little more work to do there. But check it out. I try to be more upfront as far as expectations in the listings, as far as what's actually in stock, what's on pre-sale, what's being restocked. So hopefully that's all clear. All right, thanks guys.